Okay, I am going to work on some of the, here you can see a printout of my study. I'm going to work on some of these areas that are pinky washes that give you a little more depth in the deep parts of the flowers, the individual blossoms. Also, another thing that's going to make those pop is when you put in the stamens and just the interior of the blossoms. What I'm going to use for these washes is sometimes a wash made out of quinacridone red. It's made by Winsor & Newton. I'm not sure on my pronunciation of that, but it's it looks like quinacridone, and I think it's pronounced quinacridone. I'm also going to use some alizarin. It's a cooler red. I'm going to make up a wash of it. Just squeeze out a little. Probably can't see that. And just add a bunch of water, pull some down, using probably too small a flat, but I'm going to be, there we go. Sometimes I use a sprayer or a dropper to get enough water in there to make a weak wash. This is a very thin wash. You don't want to come in there with just a big gob of color. That's fun, you know, if you're trying for that in a floral, that's fine. But if you're looking for more subtle washes and working with florals that require a little more delicacy, you're going to want a pretty thin, diluted wash. And very seldom do I make a wash just of one color. Usually it's a mixture, and I'm tempted to put a little bit of ultramarine blue in there, but I'm not going to do that. I think what I need in this situation is just some of those rosy red colors. I think I need to brighten up the shadow areas and the deep areas. Pull down some of those petal shapes. Almost like a sunburst shape in the central parts of those flowers. You can see how it's starting to give it a little bit of structure. I don't want to do too many shapes. Get a hair in that. I'm going to pick it up with a, get a hair or even a brush hair or your own hair. Pick it up with a tiny, tiny brush so it doesn't disturb your wash. Happens a lot, actually. Maybe my hair is falling out. Can't imagine why. But I'll come back with more. You can see what I'm doing. I don't like how it's pooling over here. I'm going to tilt my canvas a little bit. This is watercolor canvas. There we go. Get that moving over in the other direction. A little more. I don't have the flowers in front of me, which is probably a shame. Not practical, since there are no rhodies in bloom right now. And actually I'm just painting pretty much from memory, from what I know of these flowers, from what I think looks good in composition. I'm into realism, but not slavish realism. I'm more interested in making a beautiful composition in terms of what the human eye likes than I am in documenting exactly what that flower is like. Lifting up a little of that. I've got too much of my pink here. So when you see me smooshing some of the paint out of my brush, it's to lift color, usually. I think I got a little bit too much here, too. There we go. But I'm going to do a lot more of these interior washes of the flowers, but I think I'll say goodbye for now. This is Susan Kennedy, and you can find me on eBay as Seller Susan Kennedy, and go to susankennedy.com.